Everyone. This is Alwilan Bello from Quezon State University. In this session, I'm going to share to you our research collaboration entitled Computational Modeling and Simulation of Linear Accelerator Performance for General Radiotherapy. So radiotherapy. The main goal here is to induce the mitotic death or apoptosis of malignant tumor or cancer cells, and to minimize at the same time the complication to healthy tissues. In cell killing, we have indirect action, which involves electrons to interact with water to form OH radicals, which is two-thirds of the X-ray biological damage, and the direct action, wherein electrons are directly interacting with target molecules with high LEP damages by direct action. So, to deliver that dose of radiotherapy, recently we have brachytherapy machine and the teletherapy. So this is the requirement. We need to come up with kind of calibration wherein we we avoid uh, to reach above 5% error. Why? Because uh, there would be 10 to 20% alteration in tumor control probability. Uh, uh, it would vary the normal tissue complication probabilities up to 20 to 30%, which results to an increased risk of developing a second cancer in patients' lifetime. That is according to Fras, Chetty, Papanicolaou, and Chu. So treatment procedures, either we resort to CT scanning, tumor localization, and then skin reference mark treatment planning and virtual simulation and the actual treatment. Now we need a clinical algorithm in order to simulate our radiotherapy procedure. So this is correction based. We have simple scatter, which is was considered as an ancient method, while we have the model based, which follows the convolution superposition equation below, and A as a function of R minus R prime is what we call the dose kernel determined by the Monte Carlo method. So far the limitation is like this. Most algorithms in radiotherapy do not accurately predict dose distribution in small fields where lateral equilibrium is not achieved. That is according to Ma and Jiang in 1999, Verhagen and Shingen 2003, and Katsia et al. And Sardari et al. So we consider now GEANT4. GEANT4 is geometry and tracking. This is a C++ programming and considered as a toolkit for the simulation of the passage of particles through matter. This is well validated, sophisticated geometry description, and can handle voxelized analytical phantoms. So the objective here is to reproduce a realistic clinical beam and possibly use it in treatment planning. And we can reproduce the internal structure of electra compact linear accelerator. For the significance, it provides practical guidance on how GEANT4 can be used in radiotherapy. Actual dosimetry experiments are costly, and a pioneering study to model an electra compact linear accelerator or lineup. So for the methodology, we have experimental phase and the simulation phase. The simulation requirements, we need geometry, or material composition, source definition, physics model or interaction data table, a random number generator, and a detector. For the computing platforms, we use a 3.07 gigahertz processor and GCC 4.1.2 compiler PC and a mid-lineup package. And this is the head assembly of the Electra linear accelerator. And for the material composition, take note that we are using uh, either tungsten or tungsten alloy in most of the components. So observe those. There would be bombardment of 2 billion electrons, and then there would be production of PSF before the upper jaw, an application of PSF in the varying field line sizes, and the evaluation of those distributions. This is an example of an HEP-REP visualization during interaction time. And a pace file for uh, for both 300 primary events and another for 1,000 events. So simulation efficiency, for number of particles, we have 1 million number of particles, visualization mode on, an elapsed time of 420.04 seconds. We have a rate of 2,380.7 particles per second. But when the visualization is off, the elapsed time is 389.64 and there is only 2,566.5 particles per second. So this is the graph for the simulated data, dose versus the depth size. And so we now proceed to the validation through experimental procedure. So here's the equipment, the Electra Compact Linear Accelerator and the PTW MP3 Water Phantom. Additional equipments are dual channel electrometer and an ionization chamber. So we have the error estimator and the equation as introduced by Grivilio et al. In 2011. So for the comparison, again we have the relative PDD versus the depth in millimeters in both Monte Carlo simulation or the actual experiment. So take note, these are varying changes. The green one is for the 10 times 10 square centimeter field size, and another is a 15 by 15 square centimeter field size. Okay, so the highlighted error, a calculated error is as follows. For the field size of 10 by 10, we have 4.6%, and for the 15 by 15, we have 3.9%. For a conclusion, Gen4 can model complex geometries of electrocompact linear accelerator. There is a good agreement between the simulated and measured beam data along the central axis, and the developed codes has a potential application in radiotherapy. Recommendations: we recommend to run in higher computing platforms, simulate the beam profile, and fine-tune the beam divergence. Thank you for listening.